Hi everyone, Francisco Ramirez with One Sotheby's here in South Florida. Today we're going to go over the home inspection, what we're looking for, and the process. The first thing we want to do is we want to get a reputable home inspection company. I always tell clients to research 3, get quotes, look at their Google reviews, Angie's List, vet an actual home inspection company, and also you want to make sure that they're insured, that they are available during the inspection period, and what it would cost for all the reports. So here in South Florida, one of the main things that you want to do is you want to do a general home inspection, but you also want to pay for the 4-point and the wind mitigation report, because those 2 reports are going to save you thousands of dollars in the homeowner's insurance and also could avoid some setbacks. For example, a 4-point may show something that may be a hazard and you may not be able to get homeowner's insurance. So you could do a general home inspection and miss out on an important detail, especially right before closing. Now, what are we going to inspect? We're going to inspect the whole house. And what I tell my clients is we need to look at the big 3 off the bat. Here in South Florida, the big 3 are the roof, the AC, and your windstorm protection. The reason for that is those 3 are the big ticket items and the ones that break deals here in South Florida. Your roof, you need to have an actual sound roof, but also the age of the roof. Most insurance companies have left Florida and not insured roofs. And the reason being is because we have hurricanes and we have a lot of windstorms that come here. So roofs are always getting beat on. So you want to make sure that the age of the roof is within its normal limits. For example, a tile roof used to be about 30 years of life. Now it's about 20 years. A shingle roof used to be 15. You could probably push it to 20. Now it's 10 years. Some insurance companies may insure it. They want to come inspect it even after you bought the property and take a look at the actual roof of the property. The next thing is the AC. Obviously in South Florida it's hot, so you want to make sure the age of the AC is below 10 years. But it's not just the age. You want to check the coils. You want to make sure that it's actually cooling and it has a gradient and actually cools the house. The third one is the windstorm protection. That includes your hurricane impact windows and doors, or shutters or impact panels. Reason for that, because that could be the difference of you paying about $3,500 for homeowners insurance versus $10,000. So it's a big savings and you want to make sure that you're getting those savings. And if you're not, you're getting the right credits from the seller before you buy this property. Now today we're going to walk around all different aspects so you can kind of get an idea of what the home inspector is going to do. A typical home inspection takes about 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on the size of the home. Bigger homes require 2, 3, 4 inspectors. Condo could probably be done about an hour or 45 minutes. A very thorough inspector is going to send you a report at the end of the inspection. It's going to have every little thing that's wrong with the property. Now, follow along. We're going to go over different sections of the house. We're going to look at the big 3 and we look at other things that kind of get overlooked or that we as professionals over the years have noticed to pay attention to detail. So when the home inspector gets there, usually they get there a little early and they're going to start with the outside. One of the first things they're going to start is, and especially they've done inspections here, is the roof. As you can see, this roof looks in very good condition. It's completely clean. It's got solar panels, but to the eye, it looks like a sound good roof. Would you be able to guess the age of that roof? Probably not, but that's a 23-year-old roof. So that roof is right about the middle of where home insurance companies start to second guess if they're going to insure the roof or not. They could decide basically on the home inspector's report. The home inspector here in South Florida, the new regulation has to give at least 5 years use of life. What that means is that he inspected the roof, there was no tiles that were loose, everything's sound, and he guarantees that it could last for 5 years or has 5 more years of useful life. If it does not, then that's a failed roof inspection, and we're going to need either a credit or a full roof replacement in order for you to close on this deal, especially if you're financing. If you're cash, you don't need homeowners insurance, so you could probably close on this deal and get a roof replaced. The next ticket item is your windstorm protection. As you can see, we're here with the front door. The front door gives us a lot of clues. This, when you open it, it's an in-swinging door, so that's not up to code, so that's definitely not impact rated. Sometimes we look in the JAM for an actual rating. We're looking for that Miami-Dade sticker that gives it the rating of impact. Now this door, as you can see on the side, it has these brackets. So this house has panels for this front door that's not impact rated. And having panels or shutters is the same credit as if this was an impact rated door. Now if you look here, this is impact glass. And one way you could tell, you knock it and you're gonna feel a nice and heavy deep sound. If it was plated glass, it'd be high pitched. But also the inspector is gonna inspect and look for the Miami-Dade stickers. And on the corners, as you can see, this one's PGT for the rating of this impact window and also the year it was manufactured, which is very important. All right, so we were outside and now we're inside. And the most important thing that we're gonna check, one of the big three, is the AC. So we're in here, we're cooling. The things the inspector is gonna do, he's gonna move the thermostat, set it at a temperature. He's gonna check that the actual unit's working and cooling. He's gonna look in here, this is the return, look at the filter, see how dirty the filter is. A key sign of how well the property's been maintained is when you open it, you look at the filter. If it's a clean filter like this, that's a good sign. It means the owner's taking care of the property. A really bad sign is there's no filter. And that could be a real problem because that goes into your coils. And basically, no matter the age of the AC, it's going to take a beating and it's probably not going to have a good report, or it's not going to last longer than the 10-year mark. Now, some ACs have gone all the way to 18, 20 years if you maintain them right. Everything depends on how you maintain them, how the coil is, and how you service them. All right. So this is the air handler. This is the inside unit. So there's two parts to the AC. There's the inside and the outside. Here, the inspector is going to look at the actual serial number and sticker to verify the age of the AC. It's going to verify that you have a clean out and that you have a water flow switch. This water overflow switch is basically a safety mechanism. If there's too much condensation and water starts to leak, this will be full with water and it will shut your AC unit off. That's a plus, but not a necessary when you're buying a home. I step in here into the laundry room. The inspector is going to inspect your laundry room. He's going to put something to wash, he's going to put things to dry, and make sure that it's operational. One of the main things they're looking for is that it, one, works, and two, that it actually drains water. A lot of washers tend to be faulty and not drain water or not provide some type of good, on the dryer, no good drying mechanism. So that can mean there's something wrong with the unit. And we want to make sure we address that before you buy the property. Also here in the laundry room, as you can see, there's a sink. The inspector is going to run all the faucets, all the toilets, and all the showers to make sure that the water's running, but also that you're getting hot water. He's going to check the water heater. He's going to note the water heater's date and that it's functioning. So as you can see, one of the ways it functions is you turn on the hot water and immediately it should give you a reading, at least on this tankless. Now, if you have a big tank, the way to check that is obviously you look at the temperature that it's getting hot, but you also look at the serial number and you look at the actual unit to make sure that it's in working condition, not rusting at the bottom, and that it has a catch pan. The home inspectors will inspect every appliance in the kitchen, along with the laundry room. Almost any appliance that comes with the house, we're going to inspect. The fridge, he's going to note that the water line is connected and running, that is making ice. So check inside, look at the age of the actual fridge, make sure the freezer is working as well. One of the most important things, and the ones that come up most often faulty, is the dishwasher. He'll run a cycle and make sure that it's actually running and that it drains. Sometimes these don't drain. Look at the faucet, look at any garbage disposal you may have, that it's in working order. Wine coolers, that it is cooling at the set temperature that it is. He's going to come over to the most important part of the house, which is the stove. He's going to make sure that the oven's working, that everything's clean and in working order. All the stove tops and burners are working. He's going to turn on lights, turn on the exhaust, make sure things are exhausting. Run and test the microwave. More importantly, in your report, you're going to get the age of every single appliance, so you have an idea of when they need to be replaced, either down the line or soon, because a 10-year microwave and a 1-year microwave is a big difference and could cost you something in the near future. When it comes to the showers, bathrooms, anything with plumbing, the inspector, I was going to say the plumber, the inspector is going to inspect obviously that everything's running, all the faucets, all your hot water. More importantly, they're going to get behind here. They're going to check that the drain line's draining, that the water supply lines are either copper. One of the main things we see with some of the houses built in the 90s and 2000s is polybutylene pipes. And that could be an issue because homeowner insurance companies are not insuring polybutylene pipes at this current time, July 2023. And that means you need to replace those, either get a credit or have a seller replace it. When it comes to the shower, you're going to run shower heads, make sure that everything's draining, check the actual shower pan or tubs to make sure there's no leaks, that there's no water intrusion that could cause later down the line either water damage or mold. One of the big things in your 4 points is going to be the electrical. Here in South Florida, we have homes from the 1950s, 1940s, all the way till brand new construction. Here in Boca Raton, your average home was built in the 70s. So the electrical panel either has been updated or has not. The inspector is going to check the panel because this is something the homeowner insurance is going to want on your 4-point. They want to know what kind of panel do you have, if there's any hazards, and also when was the last time it was updated. One of the issues we see commonly here is you have cloth wiring, you have double taps, meaning someone at some point in time put 2 into 1 and it's causing an overload, which could be a fire hazard. Sometimes there is no panel, it's just open to the public. And the reason there's a panel in this cover is if it were to spark and sparks come out, they'll be protected by this. Now, if this was open and sparks and there's something here, it could be a fire hazard. This panel, as you can see, is a beautiful panel. It's been completely updated. So this is exactly what we're looking for, something nice and clean, that it's labeled, that all the breakers are in the actual situation, that there's none that are open, because this is going to give you a significant discount in your homeowner's insurance.
All right, today we're checking out this panel. This is a GE 150 amp panel. When we start checking these out, first thing I do is I look around the outside of the enclosure, make sure we have the proper grommets in place, making sure we have no missing knockouts. Next thing I do is I go down the line and I take a look at all my breakers, make sure my amperage matches with my gauge wire. As we go down, we're looking at the wires for scorching. We're looking at something known as coating. So right here, this is a white wire that has technically been used improperly. There's no issues with the wire itself. This should have just been tagged black as the rest of these are. As we go down the line in the breakers, we're going to test all of our GFCI or AFCI breakers that might be present. Both of these tripped and reset with no issues. We're also going to look, since this is technically a sub panel, we want to make sure that our ground wires and our neutral wires are not connected. So as you can see here, we have a separate ground bar over there, ground bar over here, and then our neutrals are separate. So that's good as it should be. We also have an 80 amp breaker that's labeled sub panel that's going to something probably inside the house. So we're going to also have to check that one later on. And lastly, we're looking for any arcing, scorching, or anything like that, which we don't see. So overall, it's a pretty good panel.
We're on the outside. If your house has a pool, you're interested in buying a home and has a pool, you're going to have to make sure that the home inspector inspects the pools. Most of them do not. And if that's the case, they will need to get a pool contractor or someone that services pools to come check the pool. One of the common things we'll see is that it possibly has a leak. Maybe the Diamond Bright, which is the flooring, is older or tearing apart. You want to make sure that the pump's working, that the timer's working, that everything's running smoothly and there's no leaks. And for that, more than likely, it's going to require a different professional like a pool contractor or someone that services pools, as many companies that doing home inspections don't specialize in that area. Now, typically, one of the things outside the home is going to be the electrical panel or where all the services are. As you can see here, there's gas to the property, but no meter. The inspector is going to note that, check that the gas is working. If there is gas, what appliances are being serviced by the gas company. Also, you have your main electrical panel from the outside. He's going to open that up and make sure that everything's in working order, that there's no open circuits and no fire hazards. You have your sprinkler system. They're going to run the sprinklers. Inspector's going to note whether it is a well or city water, and if all the sprinklers are running. One of the things you want to make sure is that there's not a head that's broken and it's causing you to lose tons of water. So this is a perfect example of a flat roof meeting the actual house roof. As you can see, the house roof is the barrel tile, which is kind of like orange reddish, but right where it ends into this patio, there's a flat section. Now the flat roofs is something that has to be inspected, as homeowner insurance want to see that the flat roof is no more than 10 years old. In fact, around the 5-year mark, they want to inspect it to make sure it's sealed. Sometimes they put a silicone sealant there to keep it watertight. Luckily, this flat roof doesn't go under any living space, but we have seen where people do additions and the flat roof is actually either a floater room, a living room, or a bedroom. And that would be very important to inspect, because flat roofs tend to have more wear and tear as the water rains and sits there and doesn't drain, versus having a pitch. So it's one of the things we want to make sure and see that it's in working order, that it's not spongy, and that it's very sealed so you don't have any leaks in the near future. As you can see, we're here in the back of the property and they have impact doors, impact French doors. But not only we're checking impact, we're checking that everything's in working order. But if you take a look over here, look at this door. This is an impact door. But when we notice here, you get closely, there's actually a crack on this glass. Now this door has been compromised, and will present two things: either an insurance problem, and more importantly, a problem for your safety because it's already been impacted by something or loaded. So this door will either need to be replaced or this glass will need to be replaced. And something we'll note in the home inspection: ask for a credit or ask for a repair. So the very last thing your home inspector is going to do is get in the attic. And the reason for it is it's hot up there, and he probably is going to leave that towards the end because he's going to be very sweaty when he leaves. They're going to get in the attic and they're going to check your insulation of the house, see how much insulation you have. They're going to check for any electrical hazards like wires that are going throughout the house. They're going to check for rodents, and more importantly, what you see down here in South Florida is termites. Is there any termite damage or any active termite rodents, anything that may be up there that may impact the structure of the house or the sense of security from a rat crawling at night over your head while you're sleeping in the new house, which you don't want.